Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Geiselsberg with Seasons. It is the 4th day of spring. The snow melted. That was fun last episode. I enjoyed that. Something I've never done before. But let's get back to some proper farming. Proper! It's the 4th day of spring, and we've got grass that is harvestable. Let's get up here. It's only... Well, and I should clarify this because I say first growth stage, second growth stage. I guess what I should really say is first harvest stage, second harvest stage, because there's growth, right, which is the green stuff, all the different shades of green, and then there's harvestable, and we are in the first of those two stages. So we won't get maximum yield if we harvest right now, our grass, I mean, but we will get something out of it. Now, here's why I want to do this. If we look at our finances, we're absolutely running in place. We're losing between 5,000 and 8,000 euro per day. I did sell, during the spring, I did sell 75 sheep. That made us about 40 grand. And we're still putting up wool. We haven't sold any of it yet. We've got 11 pallets of wool, but at 800 euro per pallet, it's like 9 grand. We make that per day in passive income. It's not really that big a deal. I don't mean to sound casual about it, like, oh, it's only 9,000 euro. But really, it wouldn't make much of a difference. We've got to do something because our loan interest is starting to beat us up a little bit. It's a couple thousand euro a day. And yeah. So what I did was I rented this trailer. I rented the mowers, and I rented this little trailed forager. And what we're going to do is... I can get back here, right here. What we're going to do is harvest fields 5, 11, and 15. It's actually easier to see if I turn grass off. Yeah. We're going to harvest fields 5, 11, and 15. And once we have the grass out of them, we're going to plant them with corn for silage because they're right in front of the BGA. It'll be very convenient. And that leaves us then all the rest of our grass from the BGA all the way west to the tunnel, right? All the way west to field 1, which we don't own, but just as a landmark, right? We still have all that grass, and we'll let that mature to second growth stage. I have 2 goals in doing this. One is to get something into the clamp here, which we can then convert into silage and sell and make some revenue because we're running out of money. And the second thing is to free those fields up to plant corn, which I believe is about 3 to 1 in terms of volume from what you get for grass. So if you had a field planted with grass and you got, say, 100,000 liters of grass, if you planted that same field with maize, with corn, you would have 300,000 liters. Is that right? I think I said that right. So turn that off. That's back on. So that's our goal, or our series of goals for the day. I wouldn't say that I'm panicking, but I'm not okay. I am worried. And I'll tell you this, as we get working here, I'll lay it out for you. But I had a thought. So we want this to go, where's the edge of our field? I believe it is right here. Maybe? No, further over. Right here. Yeah, there it is. These used to be, I don't want to say real fields, but these used to be, well, they still are fields. And they can be arable fields again because they have crop grass in them. It's easy enough to convert them back to arable. Whereas some of the other fields that we made when we cut down the forest, those are just sort of, they don't have a number, and it would be a little bit harder to work with them, but you see what I'm on about. And also, if we wanted to, we could just sell these 3 fields as soon as we pull the grass out of them and get, I believe, about 300,000 or 400,000 euro. I don't want to do that. What was I talking about a second ago? It was important. Oh, yeah. I feel like this game, and I do love Farm Sim, I do, but I feel like this game is, at times, the economic mechanisms of this game are simply a framework to justify us playing with diggers, if that makes sense. In other words, you can't just go play with diggers. There's got to be some kind of a, you know what I mean? Some kind of a reason to do that. And I feel like the economic underpinnings of this game sort of give us that reason in a good way. But, get this right here. I'm going to test this on Follow Me. Essentially what I need to do, we're going to have to drive around the field for a minute here. Essentially what we need to do is get to the proper side at the proper distance so that our forage harvester, once it's set to the side, in fact, we need to do this first, that it is then in the right place. You'll see what I'm getting at momentarily, I hope. So if we come back in here then, all right, and fire this up, brake is off, let's see where that Deutzfahr lands. Sir? There he goes. Yeah, we're looking for him to be directly... I need to be over a little bit. Okay. Directly behind, even though it's off center. All right, so we go here. This can come up a little bit, and then that can go over a little bit. Too far. Too far. It's got to be perfect, right? So now this, right? Brake is off. Now this. Nope, still not over far enough. I realize I could have done this off camera, and as strange as it sounds to say this, I didn't want to. I kind of like the process, and I kind of like you seeing the process. You know? I don't necessarily want these videos to be about the result. In a way, I want them to be about how we got that result. Is that too far? Yeah, possibly. Okay. We're closing in on it, though. And once we have that number, I can write it down somewhere, and then we'll have it forever. I think 2.5 meters is our sweet spot. So let us drive back over toward the BGA now. Brake is off. Let's drive back over toward the BGA and see how this thing tracks. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. I know, we're driving over our grass that we're about to mow. Artistic license. Got to keep this episode moving. We also, I don't want to say we lost all our weeds, but we don't have any weeds. And I don't know if, well, honestly, I don't know sometimes whether or not, with all the mods that we're running, that we're not in some small way kind of bugged out. Because everything turned green, and then nothing... Oh, sir. That was very close. And then nothing went to withered over the winter. I mean, nothing on the entire map. Nothing went to withered. And so I'm curious if we don't have some kind of bug or glitch somewhere where things are not working exactly the way they're supposed to. But with all the mods that we're running, would not surprise me. Right, this is our last thing we're going to put on Follow Me. And then if this all works out, well, it'll be a miracle. Now, that's offset to that side. Do we want to step him over even further? I think we kind of do. So then we'll say Follow Me. And we'll actually... sir. That seems to be mostly correct. Like it's almost set there from another... You know what I mean? Something else that we were doing. Okay. Now we need to go back in here. All right. And take this off Follow Me momentarily. Because we need to put the pipe out. All right, spin it all the way around there. Beautiful. Take your time. All right. Oh, fantastic. We need to turn it on. We need to Let's be realistic. We'll turn it off. We'll put it back on follow me. Let's get past this gravel. Right, we wouldn't drive over gravel with our trailed forager lowered. Let's see. How does our little pain train function? Not too bad. Not too bad. We got a little bit of a concertina effect there, but not terrible. All right. You know what this feels like? This feels like the first day, the first time you do something, right? You know what I'm talking about? All right, we got a new crew. Nobody's ever worked together before. Like the Three Stooges back here. Just all, okay. Right, so now we're off the gravel. So now, set that brake. Come back in here. Take this off, follow me. Turn it on. Lower it. Right? Put it back on follow me. Hop back out. Hop in here. Right? And we're going to unfold mowers. Unfold, unfold. We need to set our work mode, which we do here. Toggle work mode. Swath dropping. That's what we want. Go back to the front. Turn that on. Lower. Go to the back mower. Turn that on. Lower. Take the brake off. Set the cruise control to about right there. Here we go. What are the odds? Holy smokes. Yeah, we'll need to go back in. What I'll do is off camera, I'll hop in the Deutzfahr and we'll go back in and sort of manually clean that up. Although, let's try something. We are, what did we say, 2.5 meters? Let's try 2 meters and see if that, oh, that's very scary. Let's try 2 meters and see if that lands it right over the center of the swath. It'd be fantastic if it did. Right, so back in here. Brake is off. Here we go. This is not working out too badly. Yeah, there will be some manual cleanup, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, 2 meters is where it's at. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that gets almost all of it. So, right. Well, what was I saying before? I was saying that the economic mechanisms in this game, I feel like they just exist to give us a framework within which we can then play with diggers, which is perfectly cool. I have no problem with that. I think where it gets complicated is when we try to make our use of those economic mechanisms more realistic than they're capable of sustaining. And what I'm getting at, what made me think of that is we've got our sheep, right? We're coming into our third season. I don't know if we've made a dime from our sheep yet. I think at best we're breaking even. I don't know if we're ever... Oh, I'm trying to make this turn very gently so we don't mess anything up back there. And I think... Yeah, we'll just need to go in and clean that up manually. Me. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I mean, that's always my assumption. And that's not like a self-esteem thing. It's not like that. It's just I'm not going to... You know, I'm not one of those people that when something doesn't work, I immediately say, well, it's just all messed up. Clearly, I couldn't have done anything wrong. It's entirely possible that I'm just farming my sheep the wrong way. But I feel like all we've done is break even. And can barely see the edge of our field. Yeah, there it is. And I feel like that's always the way I was with pigs in base game. I never understood what the point of pigs was because getting root crops out of the ground is so expensive, right? If you're trying to get potatoes or sugar beet for your pigs to eat, you end up spending so much money to do it. I just don't see how it's possible for your pigs to be profitable. And I feel like potato and sugar beet, I mean, it's almost impossible for them to be profitable anyway because the equipment to harvest them is so expensive and it's so time consuming. Yeah, we're going a little bit, I feel like we're going a little bit tits up here. Is that thing full? No, it's not full. Okay. So I never had good luck with, can't even see what I've harvested. There it is. I never had good luck with pigs. At best, I broke even or I got, well, I can't even say free manure because you have to spend so much money, right, on the pigs to get the free manure free. So I feel like I'm having the same problem with sheep right now. I'm also trying to do two things at once. Drive this tractor and talk to you good people. And so I will continue to do the math on these things and maintain the possibility that it's either, right? It could be that we're just trying to make this game more realistic than it's capable of being. And then the other possibility is I'm just doing it wrong. But at the moment, I have to say, we're not making any money with sheep. We're putting a lot of time and effort into them, and we're not getting a whole lot back. And when I say a whole lot, I mean nothing. Now, what it could be is that I've combined two things. I've combined a very big, almost industrial-sized farm on the one side. Let's get rid of this so we can see a little better. There we go. We've got a big industrial-sized farm on one side. And then on the other side, we've got a 200-head sheep operation, which is, I would say, fairly modest. But regardless, right, we've got, six-figure, nearly seven-figure silage sales going on every year. And then at the same time, we're trying to sell wool for €700 a pallet. And perhaps it is just those two things side by side that make no sense. And if it was one or the other, right? Like if we had a small sheep operation and we had very little in infrastructure and very low operating expenses and we made $40,000 a year, that'd be fantastic. Happy as can be. And on the other side, if we just had a big grass farm, right, and we made hundreds of thousands of euro per year, that'd be okay too. But to have the two next to each other, each one makes the other look sort of inappropriate. I think I said that right. I might have. I don't know. I can never tell till I review. Right, so I'm going to try to make this turn a little better now and see how we do here. Yeah, a little easier from this angle. And I'm also carefully monitoring to see when this thing fills up. We still... Yep, we're still sort of hucking it in there. Yeah, it's a little smoother right there. And then on top of that, now the only economic mod, I guess you could say, that I'm running is seasons. I'm monitoring to see when that thing is full, and I don't know what full would look like. Let's set the brake here and hop in the... Nope, got room for just a little bit more. You know what I mean? I don't know where the top of the fill texture is to indicate 88%. We got a little ways to go. Back in here, brake is off, and I really, yeah, it's really hard to see what I've already mowed. Back here. So when something like this happens, I'm always curious. Yeah, I feel like we're just wasting grass at this point. Are we... It's not full, but I feel like nothing's going in there. That's not cool. 89. You know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I feel like we will end up wasting, because we're, what's 10%? 3,700 liters, approximately. For the additional 3,700 liters of grass that we would try to get in there, we would end up losing more than that in what was going into the trailed forager and then never coming out. So, not worth the risk. All right. Get this carefully backed up into the corner. Right about here. So. Beautiful. Something else that I've noticed for 19, a new feature, a new bug, is it seems like it's a lot easier to clip into the walls of the clamp than it ever was before, to actually get the trailer stuck in the wall. And you can't get it out. You have to reset it back to the store, because it just will not come out of the wall. And I don't recall that happening quite that often with 17. But again, it could be the mods. And I think I was about to say something like that a minute ago, where, you know, we're trying to get the last of this into our trailer, and I'm not sure if it's the trailer, because it's a mod trailer. I'm not sure if it's that trailed forager. I'm not sure if it's 19. You never can tell once you get a lot of mods going. And I know, I feel like most modders, when they make a mod, they test it and use it on a map that doesn't have any other mods on it. And I've said this before. I know I've said this before. There's really no other way to test a mod, because there are so many other mods. It would be virtually impossible to say, you know, this mod works with these. Well, there's hundreds of them, thousands of them. And then the way that those are combined, right, the way those other mods are combined, itself can or cannot cause problems. Are they all up to date? Are they this? Are they that? You know what I mean? It's not possible. So really the only logical way to test a mod that you've made is on a map, on a base game map, with no other mods running. So when a modder says clean log, right, they're talking about on a base map with no other mods running. And then we as gamers, right, we as players, as sim farmers, as soon as we fire up that mod with a single other mod, we've now moved outside the parameters that the modder had in place when they said it was error-free. Clean log. So, you know what I mean? We're all the first man on the moon when it comes to these. A lot of the mods that we use, I'm confident saying the combination of mods that we use them with, it's the first time it's ever been used that way. So is it any surprise that sometimes things don't play well together? But if we can get, from these three fields, if we can fill that clamp on the end, if we can get 300,000 to 400,000 liters of grass in there, 300,000 to 400,000 liters, 300,000 to 400,000, yeah, I said that right. 300,000 to 400,000 liters of silage would be what? About 100 grand? That'll take the edge off, and that will get us through the summer. And that will also allow us to plant corn here, which I hope, like I said, will be about triple the yield of grass. And if that's the case, then we've got, how do I want to say this? Instead of aiming for 2 cuts of grass, we'll have like one, we'll have a lot. How about that? Let's stop trying to do head math and just say we'll have, hopefully, a lot of silage. And we can begin to dig out of this hole. Because as it is right now, we're running in place. And we're never going to get out of debt. And we're never going to be able to expand any further than we already have. And as much as I feel like I expanded too soon by buying the farm down south, the problem that we're having now is, do we jack the loan even further to expand more? Or don't we? And in a way, no, absolutely do not do that, because it hasn't worked so far, right? All our expansion so far, we haven't become more profitable. But at the same time, how could we ever become more profitable if we don't expand? So I feel like we need to make what we've got more profitable rather than trying to get into something else when that hasn't worked so far. So that's where we're at. And I think, yeah, we're at coming up on 26 minutes. How full is this thing? I don't know. I don't think we're going to fill it before the end of the episode. Maybe we just come down here and, yeah, maybe we just come down here and call it. Because this is tough sledding, I'll tell you what. But that's all right. All right, so we come right down here. And, yeah, let's just pull around the corner and stop it right here. All right, so we're going to set that brake. Leave everything else running because I'm going to keep working off camera. And I think that's it. I think that's it, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Geiselsberg map with seasons, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.